everyone, it's Justine. Welcome for Stenciling for Card Making. Today we're focusing on Misty and More, and this is the More video where we're going to learn how to make our own stencil. This is the card that I'm making today, and that stencil there in the background is actually made out of die cuts. Don't forget to share this card with your friends or anywhere on social media to get the word out about this class so that I could continue making free classes available each month. I'm going to be grabbing the butterflies die set from My Favorite Things, and I'm going to be adding them to a card panel. Now, I would say from doing this technique, you may want to make something like a 6x6 card panel base and then not have any of these butterflies hanging off of the edge. That'll make your stencil stronger. And if you want to use this stencil more than one time, I would suggest cutting it out on acetate paper rather than cardstock. But if you just want to make a quick and easy stencil to use once, then I would just suggest using cardstock. But once again, I would cut this a lot bigger than I had done. But that's how I learn from making mistakes and doing my videos. So I hope that you'll still learn something from this video. So I'm just randomly placing these butterflies here onto a piece of cardstock. I'm obviously going to have to make a couple of cuts because all the butterflies dies don't fit to cover the entire panel. I'm going to run these through my Big Shot, but I am going to use a shim. Because these dies are very intricate, I need to use a shim in order to make them cut out. And although these dies look absolutely beautiful because they are, of course, cutting out all the details on the inside, it is just going to be the outside shape that we're focusing on in this card. And the butterflies that are cut out, you could use them, of course, in another card. So now that I have those all onto my shim, I'm just going to run it through my die cutting machine. I'm using a Big Shot machine here. I used to use my Cuttlebug if you hadn't noticed, but I have recently switched. I do actually like both machines though. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace some more of these butterflies onto my card panel. If you are using a larger piece for the stencil and following my advice on using maybe a 6x6 piece of card, you might need to do this actually 3 times with replacing the butterflies. So that's the end of the DIY stencil. Unfortunately, my camera cut out while I was actually going over with my blending tool, but no worries, I'm just going to go in and show you exactly what I did. I apologize, I didn't realize that my camera wasn't on. So essentially I'm just holding my stencil down. I'm going over with 3 colors, Squeezed Lemonade, Dried Marigold, and Worn Lipstick. And these cards I'm just going over with some of the color here. I also mixed a little bit of the color to get some different tones and just going in with my blending tool. But you've seen that in previous videos, so I don't think it was a big deal that my camera kind of cut out there. So just do it as dark as you'd like or with whatever colors you like and you should be good to go. I'm attaching this card panel onto my card base, measures 8.5 by 5.5 and scored in the middle and folded in half at 4.25 inches. And I'm gluing my card panel onto my card front. Now for my sentiment, I'm going to be stamping using my Mini Misty, and I'm going to be using a sentiment from So Susie Stamps. It was not my lips you kissed, but my soul, which was a quote from Judy Garland. And I'm going to attach this using some 3D tape. I believe we're just going to stamp this in some VersaFine black ink, which is a really great ink for stamping sentiments. I only needed to stamp this once. It stamped absolutely perfect onto my cardstock. And now I'm just going to attach it, but before I attach it, I wanted to add a little bit of ink over on the sides to distress the edges so that it blended well with my background. So I'm just going to clean off my stamp here with a baby wipe. I'm going to take my panel that I stamped on and I'm going to ink the edges using Worn Lipstick. Worn Lipstick is actually a new mini distress ink that I got recently, and I absolutely love the way that it turned out. And I actually love the color. So just attaching this using some 3D foam tape. I'm going to attach it actually so it's against the actual card base and not against the panel, just so it gives a little bit of fluidity in the card. So I'm just using my last 2 pieces here. Sad, sad day of my 3M 3D foam tape. I'm definitely going to have to get one of those big rolls. I love the fact that it's so easy to pull off, as well as you can rip it to the size that you like instead of having to use scissors. Absolutely amazing. So I'm just going to push this up against the edge of the card base, attach that to my card, and that's the end of my card today. A really simple card that you can create over and over again if you were to make the stencil out of acetate. So I hope you enjoyed this card tutorial today featuring how to make your own stencil. All the supplies used are linked to below in the video description or on my blog where there's pictures of the supplies. You can go to my blog by clicking on the top there. Over on the right, you can subscribe to my channel, or you can click on the photo there to access my stenciling class from yesterday. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget there are 3 tutorials today, so don't forget to check out all 3 of them. And I'll catch you tomorrow for a comparison video.